Welcome to the Eternal Podcast. Delighted to say it's the second instalment of our sit-down series. We've got Jon Connolly on, Scottish goalkeeper and goalkeeping coach. Jon, delighted to have you on. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Thanks for having us on, Robert. A pleasure.
No, listen, as I say, the pleasure's all yours. Listen, we'll jump straight in it. I wanted to go right back to the start if we can. Just tell us a wee bit about your sort of football upbringing if you can.
That's going way back now. Started off, usual boys club, my local team, Bargeddie Colts. Then ended up at Celtic Boys Club for a couple of years. Surprisingly enough, so I ended up there for a couple of years, and from there I went. You do the rounds when you're younger, between the ages of 14 to 16. You just, if you're doing well, you're in at Hearts, you're in at Hibs. I was there, Motherwell, Leeds, Ipswich. Then I finally just stayed with St Johnstone in the pro youth setup there and played a reserve team football there till I turned 16. Then when I left school, I went down to Ipswich.
How was that as a 16-year-old from Glasgow right down to I think it's the southeast of England? That must have been quite a culture shock for you at that time.
It wasn't half, because we'd finished school on the Friday. I remember I finished my fourth year on the Friday and I'd moved down there on the Monday. Wow. So I had a weekend with my mates to say goodbye, basically, and that was it. The first year enjoyed it. Then I started to get a wee bit of homesickness. Then I was coming up and training with my local team, Albion Rovers. And they were full time at the time. And the manager, Vinnie Moore, was all over me. He said, I'll play first team football. It's a 16, 17-year-old kid, and you're getting told you're playing first team football. Let's go for it. But he ended up paying 10 grand out of his own pocket to get me up for Ipswich. Wow. So that was the first fee. It was paid for me at 17-year-old. He paid that for me to come up.
So at that point, you've moved back home, you're back around your family, and you're just feeling a bit more confident and comfortable in your own surrounding?
Aye. No, the flip side, I've always said it over the years, it's probably the biggest mistake I ever made, career-wise.
Right.
I wish I'd stayed down there and stuck out a bit and learned my apprenticeship a wee bit more.
Was there anyone at Ipswich trying to keep you down there where they said to you, look, don't go?
To be fair, they did try that. Even a guy called Colin Suggett, he was the head of youth down there. He actually flew up to come up and speak to me and my mum personally, which was, now look back, didn't think anything at the time. You're still a young boy, you're not understanding, but looking back now, that's quite a big thing, because I was involved in the whole Scotland youth setup and all that at the time as well. I was doing really well, but just a daft young boy, back up the road and play first team football. It's stupidity, to be fair.
Would you say that you're outside of football maybe influenced that more in terms of getting out with your friends and I don't know if you were into lassies at the time or? Probably.
Because I was down that switch. All the boys apart from me all stayed in digs with other boys. I stayed in digs myself. Don't get me wrong, the family and that were lovely that I stayed with. Couldn't have asked for better, but I was also in a different end of the town for everybody. So like, all the other boys' digs were all close to each other, going out at night. I was coming home from training, I had nothing to do, didn't know anybody around about. So you're just going to training, coming home from training, just sitting in your room.
This is before PlayStations and Xboxes.
Exactly. Well, before that.
Just in terms of Ipswich, were you the only Scottish lad there? Was there no sort of other Scottish?
Well, there's a few. Right. There's me, Colin Stewart, the Rangers goalie coach. He was a year older than me. There's David White, centre half. He's been up here, a few clubs up here, Brecon and that, I believe. So I think who else? Boy Kevin Gawkin. Gucci played with Hamilton and stuff. There was a squad down there. There
was a Scottish contingent there for you to kind of latch on.
George Burley was the manager as well.
Right.
The groundsman was Scottish. I used to get in the morning, read the Daily Record. He always had the Daily Record newspaper. And he was a Rangers fan, same as myself. So I used to go in early in the morning just sit with him reading the Daily Record, reading about Rangers and the back pages, because obviously you never had internet in your phones and all that back then.
A wee bit at home, love that. Anyway, so you come back up the road, then you go to Albion Rovers and you're thrust into the first team. How was that as a 16-year-old? Did you kind of take that?
It was actually all right. So as I say, Vinnie Moore was the manager. He paid for himself. I still think I hold a record for the youngest Scottish goalkeeper to be sent off. I was 16. I get sent off only my third game in. But it was the first year they brought out the last man rule.
Right, okay.
You can remember it was against Alla. Willie Irvin went round me and I've brought him down and sent off. So I still think I hold. It's not a great record, but I think I still hold that. Everyone was going okay playing, and he took me out a couple of times as well. So I've had a bad game, he'd take me out, but then he'd put me straight back in. So we had two experienced goalies there as well. There was a boy, Stephen McLean, I'm sure his name is, and Stevie Ross. So they were two older goalies who were quite experienced, but to be fair to Van Moore, he did play me. Then all of us, he'd left, then Billy McClaren came in and we just didn't see eye to eye right away. First conversation we had was, young goalkeepers don't play in my team, so that was me, dummy tip right out.
So, well, listen, your fortune's turned because Billy Davis sees you, obviously you got out, I think you got on loan to a junior club.
It was Forneywood United, so I'd obviously had a fallout with Billy McClaren. My pal Tom Spence was the manager of Forneywood at the time. I'd signed a 4-year deal because he'd paid money at Albion Rovers. So this was only my first year. And I'm going, I cannot be stuck here. So back then, the old junior contracts were, if you stayed with that junior team at the end of the season, they retained you, the old retention thing that's done away with now.
Okay.
So he'd phoned me, he's like, listen, he's like, if I can get you out on loan at the end of the season and stay here at the end of the season, you'll become our player. Your registration will stay ours. He's like, I'll get you out that contract. And I was like, anything else I don't care about. I didn't know anything about juniors at the time, I'll be brutally honest. Didn't know anything about the junior game. So I was like, aye, let's go for it. I'll go to play football. I know most of the boys that are playing, I went to school with most of them. So I went and done the year there, and sure enough, I was like, I'll start the next season with them. I was like, I enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it. And I can remember the one game, it was Scout Paul Smith for Murrow. I was talking to him before the game because I knew he was involved with Celtic and I was there.
Okay.
So he's like, I've not seen him in a few years. So he's like, what are you doing here? Explaining the situation. So he was there to watch one of my pals that was playing for Forney, the same age. The two were only 17, 18 at the time. And we're playing Peterson, ended up having the game of my life. And he's like, you want to get into Murrow on trials? I'll get in. I wasn't working during the day or anything. I was like, I'll get in and train and see what happens. So to be fair to Billy Davis, I went in, and after 3-4 sessions, I can always remember even Stevie Woods and Andy Gorham coming and going, what are you doing playing junior football? It's two boys like that saying that to you, so I took a boost off of that. The next thing I know, Billy Davis has offered me a 3-year deal, so it was a no-brainer to go back full-time football and straight into the Premier League.
You must have been absolutely pinching yourself, not only to get the 3-year deal with the Premier League football, but Andy Gorham, I'm guessing one of your idols growing up.
Hero, absolute hero.
Tell us about that first interaction with the goalie.
Well, first went out to train, he never really trained a lot. His knees were really bad at the time. But so you're in quizzing him, aren't you? I'm that bold wee guy. What was it like playing against this? I must have been a pain in the arse to him. Just asking him everything about Rangers. Absolute pain. But to be fair, we ended up best pals. Me and Stevie Woods were only two who were invited for the whole Murrow squad to his wedding.
Right.
So we ended up very, very close. I'd got spend time at Maisie's pub in Lanark at the time. After training, we got there, just sit there and get a laugh with his regulars and stuff. So I'd go and hang about with him outside of football as well. But for a coaching point of view, and the wee things that I picked up off him, the wee things that he would tap into, it was invaluable. Absolutely invaluable.
Two are probably the biggest keepers in the league at that time, really. Stevie Woods had been at Motherwell for years.
To be fair to Woodsy, I don't think he'll mind me saying this, Woodsy was just starting his coaching at that point, so he's still at Motherwell number 2, but he was also taking the training. And to be fair, I'm not surprised Woodsy's been at Celtic for as long as he is, because he has quality. I learned loads off Woodsy. Woodsy was brilliant with me. And he was harsh when he had to be harsh, but I need that as well. I don't need the mollycoddling, and I just need told straight. So that's a wee bit I took out of my game is into the coaching as well. Something is just learning about your goalie, but can you be harsh on them, or is it a constant need to give them the wee cuddle to get the best out of them? So that's something I took out of my game, because he learnt my personality, and he learnt that he could give me a wee bit and I would take it.
Just
so
I
could have asked for two better.
What was that first conversation like with Billy Davis? What did he say? What expectations did he put down to you? What did he tell you your role was going to be like at Motherwell?
To be fair, he just says, when I first came in, and I was struggling. I've always struggled with my weight. My weight's always been up and down like a yo-yo. And I can remember one of the first conversations was, you'll get a couple of games reserves. He's like, you'll need to get that weight off you. He's like, if you want to be a professional footballer, you need to get that weight off you and start living right. Because I think they'd heard, because I smoked fags and all that. I never started smoking until I went down to Ipswich. Never smoked during school. Not as soon as I went full-time football, I started, because everybody, it was the thing to do back then. But he knew I'd done all that. He knew that, because when I went to Thornleywood as well, I was out every weekend and just acting like a junior player, if I'm being honest, just a part-time player. So he was on my case about nights out and reining it in, basically. So to be fair, I did listen to him. I can always remember a conversation I had with him. He says to me, you've got all the ability. He's like, see if you get your weight down, you give me a certain weight. He's like, I'll play in the first team. But it's a wee guy, you're just saying that, just try to egg me on a wee bit, just see how I'd react. So, and every morning, I don't think, there's only a few boys that know this, I used to come in at 8 o'clock every morning. I don't know if you remember, Mickey Weir used to play with Hibs and stuff.
I remember that.
Mickey was the youth team coach. He used to bring me in every morning at 8 o'clock and go a wee 20-minute run with me every morning to shred the weight off me. Just nothing mad, just a wee light run before training started, before everybody came in. And I'd done that for about 4 or 5 months. Then Gorham get the move to Man U on loan. And Billy Davis chucked it straight in front of Woodsy.
Well, let's actually go to that then, because I think it's a few weeks after your birthday, I believe.
Aye, it was, aye.
You get the shout, you're up at Tannadice.
I didn't know I was playing.
What does he tell you? Does he tell you in the dressing room?
Name's the team it.
Right, okay.
So I've walked into the dressing room, obviously your shirt, your numbers is first up. But the Kitman Allen's done this before with me at Ibrox and all that, just try to take the mickey, try to be funny. So I've turned up. Aye, no bother, whatever. His name's the team and I'm in. Never even spoke to me before or nothing, which I think is probably a good thing. So I think if I had the day or the night before thinking about that, probably could have went another way.
How were you nerves when you read out the team sheet? What are you thinking?
I was shocked me on anything. Then the warm-up, I couldn't hold it. Woodsy's like, are you all right? He was warming me up. I couldn't hold anything. My head was gone. Have you Dundee United fans? Who the fuck are you? You're going, oh my God. I could not hold it. And then as soon as the game starts, you just get into flight mode. It's just, everything else, it just shuts out and you just get into game mode. And I actually found it easier playing the Premier League. It's weird.
You're looking at the lineup that day, guys like Kevin Twaddle, Keith Lasley, obviously, and Stephen Pearson must have been a young lad back then as well.
Aye, he was a year younger. So we were all just, so it was me, Piero, Stevie Hamill, Faddy. We were all breaking through at the same time, because that's when Motherwell were just getting ready to get into administration. So all the big guns like John Spencer, Don Goodman, Jed Brandon, all them were starting to leave because of the money situation. So that was how Motherwell ended up all the young boys coming through, which is probably a good thing in hindsight as well.
Certainly made them a few quid, didn't it?
Nah, I didn't. They did.
You look at Dundee United that day as well. Charlie Miller, you're up against him.
I hear I've met Charlie a few. I got on well with Charlie, to be fair. But again, playing against him, he was like a hero to me because of the Rangers thing. I love watching Charlie play. Just a quality football player.
You hear people talk about Charlie Miller, and he could have been, anything he wanted to be, really. But I think maybe his lifestyle off the pitch curtailed that. Listen, you lose the game 1-0. Do you remember sort of after the game anything the manager said to you? Do you have any inclination that you were going to be in for the next one?
No, there was a lot going on with Billy Davies at that time with the club as well. So he never ended up in training that following week.
Right, okay.
So Miodrag Krivokovic took the team. So
I'm glad you said that, not me.
So I'll just call him Mio. So Big Mio who took the team. So he was taking the training every all week. So you're going, what's going on? Then play Aberdeen at home. I start again. I actually get man of the match again. So it was 2 man matches in a row I got. So I'm absolutely buzzing. And then the following week, Davis is gone. That's when Eric Black and Terry Butcher came in. And
what changed then for you there? Because you've had these two.
Again, the young goalies don't play in your team.
Do you think that's a thing of the past, or you think that's still something that's relevant now?
There's loads I could say about Terry Butcher, but I'll not go into it. All I'll say is a bully. And I hear everybody saying, "Oh, he's singing his praises." Not what I seen that guy was a bully. Being a Rangers fan, that actually killed me. But it wasn't my guy. An absolute bully.
You find it strange that with goalkeepers, they want more experience, but with younger players, it's a case of if he's good enough, he's old enough. Why is that not the case when it's a goalkeeper?
It's a Scottish mentality. It's a Scottish game. And I think it is. They look down goalies. You can't have a young goalie. They'll look for an experienced goalie. Then you can chuck examples out of Casillas, Alan McGregor. There's thousands of examples where you can just go, that's a load of crap. If you're good enough, you're old enough. That's my philosophy, and always will be. Any goalies I work with, I don't care what age they are. If they're good enough, that's all that matters.
You would say at that point then, when you leave Motherwell, your career doesn't pan out the way you go. Do you want to just give us a bit of an insight as to why? You go to Dumbarton, I believe, in loan, and then you spend probably the rest of your career back in junior football. I
just became disillusioned after the whole Motherwell thing, to be honest with you. After that, I hated the senior game. I just thought it was awful. Because even at Dumbarton, Tom Carson signed me, I was playing, then he was left, and there was another goalkeeper there, John White, who was older. Need to play the experienced goalie. So after that, I'm like, not interested at all.
The same patterns happened at every opportunity, really, hasn't it? Every time you've been handed opportunity and done well, the next guys come in, took it away from you, and used the same excuse.
That's what I'm saying. Managers need to stop getting the sack when I'm there. I don't know if it's me getting them the sack in the first place. But the Motherwell one did scunner because, as I say, I get my match at Tannadice, and then I get the home man in the match against Aberdeen, and then all of a sudden you're no old enough. You're going, let's see.
It wouldn't sit well with me either, John, to be honest.
So to be fair, I had a few words with Butcher as well, tell him a few home truths. I don't regret anything I ever said, and I stuck by it to this day. There's things I've said to. I was quite hostile when I was younger as well. There's loads of things I've done and said in the past where I go, what are you doing? When I look back now, I was I'm an idiot. But with him, I stick by it, and I stick by it to this day.
These conversations you would have had with like a mentor and Andy Gorman saying, look, I don't know what's happening here. I don't know why this keeps happening to me.
To be fair to him, he just says, keep your head up and keep going. It's just football. In which, over the years, you find it is, because what you find is everybody's different. All gaffers have got their own thing and what they're looking for. And the only thing you can do is just work hard, and if it's good enough, it's good enough. If it's not might not be good enough for them, but you'll be good enough for somebody else. And I just wish I had that thought process back then and stuck in a wee bit more rather than just down tools. Because I'll freely admit it, down tools. Would rather go to the weekend, play junior football with my mates, and that was it.
Just before we go into your goalkeeping career, if we your coaching career, should I say, can we just touch on a point you made earlier? You said that you found the Premier League easier than junior football. Why was that?
More time. Junior foot, little things like if cross balls come in, if you shout goalkeepers in the Premier League, they let you go and take it.
That's not happening.
Shout keepers in the juniors, you're just waiting on that 20-odd stone guy just to knock you straight into that net. You're just waiting on that. You could have it in your hands and 5 seconds later you're still getting scudded. But it's probably the best upbringing that I've ever had.
Well, you stayed in the game for quite some time. You could have probably chucked it or went and got a job, whatever. But you've stayed in it. So you obviously still had that passion and love for football.
I still love playing. I just love playing. That's all. I just love playing football. And the amount of people go, "Oh, wasted talent, you're stuck here and stuff." But I played. Everywhere I went, I played. And I was happy. It didn't bother me at that point, the level. And I look back now, I do regret a lot of the moves that I did make. I knocked back some opportunities to get back in the senior game when I should have just took them.
Why did you knock them back?
I had a chance to get into Dundee again when I was just before I signed with Kilwinning, and I had chances to get back in a third division back then. Teams, but I was disillusioned with the whole senior game completely, to be honest with you.
So at what point do you think, right, I want to be a coach? I want to do my badges?
I actually fell into management.
Okay.
So I was playing with Falthouse, still playing. Was I 37? 5 years. So I was playing with Falthouse. The club would get rid of a manager, brought another one in, and it wasn't going well at all. And I can remember a conversation. I think we played Boness away, and the committee have come up to me. What's happening? Me being me, I was like, he's hopeless. No got a clue. Absolutely hopeless. Like, what do we do? I was like, I jokingly said, I was like, I'd be better off then. Then they phoned me that night, like, would you do it? Are you being serious? I was like, I would do it because I knew the boys weren't enjoying it and stuff. And we're getting relegated, so we're going down no matter what. And a few of the boys were starting to taper off and just wrap it early doors because they knew they were going down. So I says, I'll take it. Very next game's Bonnie Rig away, who were absolutely flying. I was like, oh no. So I had to go and phone up boys that are playing amateur football that I knew, who I could trust, just to go in and do a job. We only get beat 1-0 away to Bonnie Rig, which is a big result considering we'd just been beat 6-0 off of Boness a week before.
So you see this an improvement straight away?
Aye, but I played the first 5-6 games. Then I brought another goalie in to take myself out. It was hard because I brought my pal who I used to play under at Dunnypace, Alan Prosser, in as my assistant. But I was getting frustrated playing and no having an influence with subs, and I'm a control freak when it comes to that sort of thing as well. So the following season, I kept 2 players on for that whole squad. Full rebuild, and we get promoted straight back up into the Super League at first attempt. Then the following season, consolidated in the league and got to a cup final with the first in Falthouse 35 for the first time in 35 years or something, a cup final. So I was absolutely flying that, and then that's when I ended up having my mental health problems. So I got to a stage where I tried to take a wee bit of time out, but I was still turning up to games and taking over. Just absolute, I can't help myself. It's just, that was my baby at the time. I put this together, I need to be in control here, but I was miles off. I wish somebody just says, JC, going down the road, go a walk or something. But I was there, I was turning up to, I remember a game, was it Livingston away? The boys had scored, and I was standing outside the park. I was trying not to take Kenton to do it. I was just stood away in the corner out the way, just up to watch it. and all the boys ran to me, and I just started greeting me, and then I was like, oh my God.
Overwhelmed
So
by emotion.
it was a good moment, to be fair.
And then, listen, so you take the first steps into the goalkeeping coach, and you turn up at Annan. At this point, are you still, struggling with your mental health, or had you managed to get that?
I was just, before I went into Annan, I was just getting to the end of it, my counselling and stuff. The Annan thing came out of the blue. I was actually going to go and play for my pal who just took over at Stonehouse, I'm saying, but they're not called that. Say Stonehouse. So Royal Albert it was. So my pal was a manager. He's been on at me and on me for years. Like, come on, do me a turn. As I said, I just wrapped management, and I was like, no, but I'm going to go and play for a season. Just go and enjoy it. So I turned up at Les Mahego a Friday, and I'd strip it back to the Thursday night. I'd agreed to go and play on the Friday night against Les Mahego and Royal Albert. That night, I'll come in. It's pre-season. I'll come in. I'll play a game. But I also got a phone call on that Thursday from my pal Eric Phillips. He was the Enniston Rag goalie coach, but he's at Dumbarton now. He's like, listen, Annan, I'm looking for a goalie coach. Do you fancy it? I'm like, no, what? I was like, I'll speak to them. So Peter Murphy phoned me, just blaring away the phone stuff. I never thought into it. So I went to the Friday night, just pulled into Les Mahego into the car park, get into the boot of my car, took my bag out, my phone goes, it's Peter Murphy. Offer me the job, start the next day, the Saturday morning, pre-season. And I'm going, aye, so I'm like, brilliant, back to senior game, get a wee foot back in the door. So I've actually walked out of this, I was like, Stuart, I was like, I don't know how to say it, I was like, but I'm doing it anymore, I've accepted the goalie coach job. He was buzzing for me, absolutely. He's like, I'm gutted I'm losing you, but I'm buzzing, you've got an opportunity. So I went and played that game, we won 1-0, and I ended up having a world day. I was like, oh no, I actually enjoyed that. No, we didn't end the next day, and it's 11v11. They've only got one goalie, so I had to play that again. I was in bits.
Oh, so you're on the bench for
just a wee bounce game amongst everybody.
Right,
oh my God, I'm hanging.
And so, listen, it's no secret. It's been in the press. You've spoken about it openly. You had a real low point when you were at Annan.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind at that point? Was it off the field matters? It was you don't have to get into too much detail, but was it off field matters?
There was a lot of off field stuff. I was like, through counselling, I realised now there was a lot of things when I was younger. A lot of loss when I was younger. My dad died died right at my feet. Took a brain tumour, collapsed at my feet. Can remember it clear as day. So I've never mourned. That's what I found that out. Just where I come from, it's suck it up, get on with it sort of attitude. I've lost my code. Every meal that I've been close to in my family, I've lost, and I've never really mourned it. And so obviously, the best way, all the way Jane at Back ONSIDE described it, it's like holding a bottle of water. You can only hold it so long before your arm gives way. And I was like, something just clicked. I was like, that is so true. So I think something's just absolutely snapped. I just lost my relationship and that at the same time, but that I was already in a depression. I didn't know it at this point because I was coming home from work. I was going out my room and just shut myself off for everybody. But to me, I didn't see anything wrong with it, but I didn't know that was the first signs that I was depressed. And I had anxiety, and I'd go on a night out. I loved a night out. It's absolutely. But I'd go on a night out and I'd want to go home. If we went to family functions, I'd want to go home. I didn't like being in an environment with loads of people, and which is the exact opposite of what I'm usually like. So,
did you seek help yourself, or was this something you'd been put into from like the club? Or?
Well, what happened was I was just sitting one night and I was flicking through my phone, and Back ONSIDE kept coming up now and then on my phone, and I knew one of the boys at Faltus at the time I was managing, he'd just been through a bit with Back ONSIDE, so they were at the front of my head, and I can remember it clear as day. I was just sitting one night and that was me. I'd already had a plan that I was going to do. the pills, the vodka, whatever. And I just says, if I don't phone her, if I phone her, doesn't answer, that's my answer, what I'm going to do. If she answers that, I'll give them a chance and see what it's like, speak to somebody. Thankfully, she did answer it, and I was whipped over to Wishaw that night, and then I was sectioned for a few days. I'm not ashamed to admit that as well. That was an experience. But in a roundabout way, I'm glad it all happened. As horrible as it was at the time, and it's probably the best thing that ever happened to me, to be honest with you.
I've got to say, listen, firstly, really honest to speak about it, but certainly I've had a wee look, obviously, through your Twitter the last few days, and you spoke about being up and down with the weight. You look like you're in probably the best shape of your life currently.
I've tried. As I said, I had a wee blip there again, but again, I'll work away. I love giving myself wee goals. I'm probably stronger now than I've ever been. To be honest, I've got an addiction for the gym now, which is probably the best.
That marries into your mental health in terms of exercise, how important it is getting out there and doing
it's massive. I was a lazy shit, I'll be honest with you. See, training, I hated it. I'm the exact opposite it was when I played. Hated training, hated doing any form of exercise. The thought of getting out big long walks, nah, it's not me. But see, now, it's the best thing for your mental health for anybody. So I used to see people talking about it, I was like, gym, that's like, nah, no chance. But seeing your day come out after you, so sometimes I'll get in the gym and I'll do very little, but I'll still feel good that I've went in and done something rather than sit about and do nothing. So it's not as if I'm going to gym and absolutely hammering myself all the time. There's times I'll just go in. The people in the gym will tell you, it's like, I'm there every day. I'll go on the treadmill for 10, 15 minutes, and that's maybe all day that day. But I'll stand and talk to everybody in the gym. That's the social aspect to it as well. It's getting yourself out there, and because you're seeing the same people every day. There's wee guys that wear over 60 club t-shirts. They're the ones that inspire me. 60 or over 60-year-old, and they're still in there doing it every day. That's the guys I talk to in the gym, and that's what they do it for. They do it for just the headspace.
And the social element, as you say, get in there and
it's
see
massive. It's massive.
Well, let's come to current times. I'm conscious of your time, so you've ended up at Queen of the South. Obviously, Peter Murphy's taking you there again. He's got the job in the summer.
Yeah.
A lot of trust there, obviously, that he's taking you on to his next job.
It's massive for me. It proves to me that he rates what I do and he likes my input. So for me, that was a massive, massive boost. Probably the biggest boost I've had in football, if I'm being brutally honest. Between that and Andy Gorham rating you, that's two of the biggest compliments that I've had in football. You could have took everybody wanted. It's a full-time club. There's far more qualified goalkeeper coaches than me. There's A licence holders. I'm only a UEFA B licence holder. There's all sorts of they're looking for a full-time job in football, and there's very little opportunities. And for him to put his trust in me and take me with him was massive for me. It was probably the biggest boost that I've ever had.
What change have you seen then coming from obviously part-time now to full-time this season?
More detail, to be honest. More time with the boys. Learn about them a little bit more as well. It's at part-time, I feel as if you're rushing a lot into a session because you're only got the 2 nights. So you're trying to squeeze a bit of everything. Where you can be more structured. One week we're working on a wee doing angles, next week. So you can spread things out. You can just strip it right back. And for me personally, learn about your goalies more because you're with them every day. Learning what makes them tick. Learn what they see more of them as well. Where you can fix wee flaws if you see any flaws. So for me, it's far better.
Jake, is there an added pressure on you guys being the full-time club in League One?
I think so, aye. But it's a pressure we'll enjoy. Got to enjoy it, I've got to relish pressure. Which makes I love being doubted, so I've had it all my life, people writing me off, so I love that side of it. Then when you do succeed, it's like next. That's just the way I see it. For me, I need somebody to doubt me. In a weird way.
Well, listen, you've come up against some tough tests in the Premier Sports Cup. You know, Jimmy Talleen just took over Aberdeen and then you've got Rhys McCabe, who's arguably the best young manager in Scottish football at the minute.
Aye, they're flying. So the game on Saturday will be a big one for us against Airdrie. Either or who wins is basically through as well. So it's a big game for the two of us. No, under no illusions. Airdrie are probably taking off of Aberdeen. I'd probably say Airdrie is the best footballing team in that section. Yep. Rhys has done an unbelievable job there. So for us, that might sound daft, probably the hardest game, if I'm being honest. I think the Aberdeen game, it just looked after itself. I think the 3-0, if I'm being brutally honest, the 3-0 scoreline probably flattered them a wee bit over the course of the games. But I think Saturday will be our hardest game. But it sets us up nicely for the league as well.
Well, that was my next question. Is the priority's got to be the league, right? You've got to try and
get
back the championship.
1,000,000%. For us, where Queen of South have been, they're a too big a club to be down where they were last season, and before that, they've got to be up there. And they're a championship club minimum for me, the size of the club. So that's our job to try and get that goal, that achievement. So again, it's another big target to try and go for. But that's, to be fair, me, the gaffer, Cole, Al, the coaches there, that's the challenges we love. We want to go and test ourselves and try and get the club up first time you're asking.
Listen, I'll let you relax. I'll not ask you any more questions about Queen of the South. Just, I know you're a big Rangers man, and I am myself. So, look, it's going to be a big season for Rangers and a tough ask. I don't know how you've viewed the pre-season. I was at Birmingham last night. Squad on paper looks bereft at the minute. Needs some injection of something. Just off the park, in terms of Tavernier, Goldson, what do you think is going on at Rangers at the moment?
For me, it needs a clear out. That you should understand the frustration. You can't clear out. You need people. You need somebody to take the players. So it's hard. I actually feel for Clement, if I'm being brutally honest, knowing that side of the job as well. Not at his level, but you need boys out before you can bring in. And on the budget's no great. That's evident, because if they had money there, they'd just bring the boys in, then start shifting. So it's quite clear they need boys out before they can bring in. I think Clement said that himself. So for me, the sooner they can get bodies out, the better. I think it needs a refresh, a total refresh, i.e. Goldson, Tavernier, Scott Wright, Dessers. I was at Murrayfield game against Man United, and first goal comes, I just don't see it.
It's that centre back pairing of Suter and Davies. I think it's got a lot to be desired at the minute. Just on finally the Scotland stuff. I don't know if you watched the Euros in the summer. All the hurrah getting there, and again, arguably probably the worst team at the tournament. Sadly, what did you make of it? Went out with a bit of whimper.
This is going to sound weird. I'm an England fan.
Right, okay.
So
I was not expecting that, mate. I was not expecting that.
It goes back to Chris Woods at Rangers.
Okay,
so I've always been a goalie fan. So Chris Woods was my first ever goalkeeping hero, obviously at Rangers. So I followed him. Then my first proper tournament I can remember was Italia 90.
Okay.
Fell in love with England at that Gaza that tournament. So I've always been an England fan for them.
Oh well, you'd still been unhappy with the way they performed at the end.
And I fell out with this whole Scotland thing when I was 17. Again, because I'd left Ipswich to go to Albion Rovers, I'd get dropped out of the squad, and I was like, nah, just because I went to a so-called smaller club, but I was playing at a higher level because I was playing first team men's football.
Was that a decision by your manager at the time or by the FA?
The FA dropped me out of the squad because I went to Albion Rovers.
Wow.
That's how I've got a hang with the Scottish football team. So it goes back to that.
Well, listen, John, as I say, conscious of your time, I do appreciate you coming on. Some great stuff there. I do wish you and Queen of the South well for the season. Hopefully on Saturday, he's into the last 16. Who knows? It might actually be a knockout at Ibrox. But listen, no, thanks for joining us.
No, I appreciate it, Robert, and thanks for having me.
No, anytime, mate. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe, all that jazz, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Cheers, Robert.